Good morning, Facebook Live fans. This is Jack Newby, Executive Director at the Joslyn Center. I want to welcome you to our Interview Friday show. Before we get into our interview, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's happening here at the Joslyn Center in the coming week. So just hold on a moment and first remind you, I hope you all made it through the storm without any major difficulties. We are starting to experience warmer weather now, so I want to remind you that the Joslyn Center is a cooling center, so you can come in at any time, enjoy our air conditioning. We have water and snacks, and you can save some money by adjusting your thermostat at home while you're here. So remember that and come on by and enjoy our cool Joslyn Center. Also coming up is our beginning Spanish class, and that starts on Wednesday, September 6th. And so that's from 1 to 2 p.m. And that's beginner Spanish. So anyone that wants to learn Spanish, that's the time to start. Also, we're having plant-based cooking class, and that begins on Thursday, September 7th. So now that the summer's near over, we're having a lot of new classes. Also coming up are Mahjong lessons. Those will be Thursdays from 1:30 to 3:30, and that starts on September 14th. And we don't want to forget our Wellness Center Brain Boot Camp. Sign up for that one. That's coming up on Tuesdays from 1 to 3, September 12th and 19th. So those are some of the things that are coming up here at the Joslyn Center. We would love to see you here. We're fortunate today to have with us one of our newest counselors in the Joslyn Center, and so I want to introduce to you Yarely Tamayo. Oh, there you are. How are you this morning?
What was that?
How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the Coachella Valley, and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, of course. So as Jack mentioned, my name is Yarely Tamayo. I was born and raised here in the Coachella Valley. I am what's called an associate marriage and family therapist. And I actually got my degree, my bachelor's degree from Cal State San Bernardino, as well as my master's in clinical counseling. I did my internship, both of my internships actually at Cal State San Bernardino. So I'm very familiar with the university. I love Cal State San Bernardino. And I graduated May 2022. And after I graduated, I took a little break, and then I got my first job serving the Latino community. And now I'm here at Joslyn Center, also looking forward to service our Latino community.
So what interested you into getting into mental health and therapy?
Yeah, I would say that my passion for helping people, and what better way to help people than by through therapy, right? And I really enjoy that relationship, that one-on-one, and helping people become better versions of themselves. I also have always been fascinated with psychology and the reason why people do the things that they do. So I think those are big reasons why I seek mental health.
So, and you're bilingual, you speak Spanish fluently. Yes. And one of the things we're doing here at the Joslyn Center is expanding our Wellness Center programming and counseling into the East Valley to provide more services. Tell us why that interests you.
Yeah, well, I'm a Latina, and I have always felt like my mission has been to represent my community, and I am very proud of my culture. And I feel like a lot of times there's a lack of representation, and I think that it will be very beneficial for clients to have a therapist that speaks the same language as them, that has the same culture as them, that understands the lingo, and that could better serve them.
And that's really important, isn't it? That someone be really a native Spanish speaker so they can understand some of the nuances when they're talking with their clients.
Yes, of course. And the different phrases that they use, it's very important to understand what that means.
So what are some of the challenges in bringing mental health services to the East Valley and to the Hispanic community?
Very good question. I feel that Some challenges when it comes to servicing the Latino community, I think that for one is the big stigma that there is in mental health. I think a lot of times the Latino community, we see or they see mental health as you're crazy if you seek mental health treatment, or they are afraid of being seen as weak or defective because they're seeking mental health. I also think that there's also a fear of deportation. A lot of times they think that if they seek mental health, somehow they're going to be deported, or that's going to affect them getting their papers. Another big one is lack of knowledge. A lot of them don't know what services there is, how to get access to care, as well as logistic barriers, finding time to go to their therapy appointment. The different responsibilities that they have at home can also make it very challenging for them to seek mental health treatment.
So what are some of the ways that we can, working together, get past some of those barriers that people have?
I think for one, it's very important to give information now, like this amazing life that we're doing today. That way people can find out about the different resources that we offer. A lot of outreach work where they'll be able to understand how do they get access to therapy, how does that work, and provide information for them to understand what it means to go to therapy.
And in your experience, are there any kind of unique issues that face the Hispanic community here, especially after COVID?
Yeah, well, I mean, after COVID, we saw a lot of many of people, right? They were isolated for a long time. So I think a lot of time they're dealing with the repercussions of being isolated. In the Latino culture, we value family a lot and connecting with them. So a lot of them, unfortunately, weren't able to see them as much. Of course, they were able to FaceTime them, but of course, that proximity of seeing their loved ones was very challenging.
So the Joslyn Wellness Center has some exciting news about where we're able to begin offering these services. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so now we are working towards servicing more of the Latino community. We have a lot of connections in the East Valley, which we're very happy, to be offering that. So we offer individual counseling, group counseling, and we also have various of classes that we're going to be starting to provide in Spanish as well. That way that kind of talks about how the brain works and how to decrease your chances of dementia.
And what are some of the places that we're going to be offering that?
We're going to be at Volunteers in Medicine, and it's an amazing facility. It offers low cost or actually free care, medical care. As the name says, they're volunteers. So they provide education of nutrition as well as other services like HIV testing. So they have a lot of various services that they provide, as well as Indio Senior Center that has a lot of activities for seniors. They have some cool lunch where they're able to gather and socialize with other people.
So Volunteers in Medicine is a great place. They provide the free primary care for people. And also we've been working with the Indio Senior Center for a while, doing both group and individual therapy. So those are places that we really encourage people to access care. And I'll just let everybody know that if you're interested, or if you know someone who would like to access care at either Volunteers in Medicine or at the Indio Senior Center, and you want an appointment for what we call problem-solving strategies, you can call the Joslyn Wellness Center at 760-340-3220 extension 117 and speak with Alex, and Alex will do all the intake for you. So when you get to see Yarely, you're set and ready to go.
Yes, exactly. And just to touch a little bit about what exactly problem-solving counseling is, I would work with you to develop a goal. And of course, the focus of treatment would be to achieve and make progress in that goal. And then once you achieve that goal, we would end treatment. And of course, you are always welcome to come back in terms of like wanting to work on something else.
So that's important. The first time you actually meet the client, you talk about their background, their history, what brings them there. And that's an important thing to get them started.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, and then the other thing, we just want people to know that you can ask for a referral from Volunteers in Medicine, but it's very important that the person seeking the counseling, that they make that call and they make the arrangements themselves, because that's the first step in seeking therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
So we found out, and I don't, in your experience, if someone refers someone but doesn't really follow up, or the person doesn't make their appointment, in your experience, they're not really invested, are they?
Yeah. And I think it's so important. And what I always tell people and my clients, like, you have to be ready to want to change, because counseling takes work. And we're going to be talking about things that may be challenging for you or that you haven't talked about. So a lot of times it takes full participation of the client and their willingness to change and want to change. A lot of times we're not ready to take those steps, and that's okay. And that's why it's very important for you to seek counseling when you feel that you're ready.
And just real quick, you had mentioned earlier at the beginning that you were an associate counselor. Explain how that works and the kind of how it works with the Joslyn Wellness Center and supervision and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so as I said, I got my master's in clinical counseling. So I'm what's called an associate marriage and family therapist. So I'm able to provide therapy to couples. I'm able to provide to individuals, to families as well. And right now, so the associate part of it means that I'm not licensed yet, but I am registered through the Board of Behavioral Sciences. So I'm on my way through licensure right now, which I'm very excited about. I am accumulating my hours here at Joslyn Center, and I'm hoping to be licensed soon.
So that's one thing a lot of people don't know, that even after you finish your education, you have about 2,000 hours you have to accumulate as an associate therapist. And here at the Joslyn Center, we're happy to be able to provide the supervision with our licensed clinical social worker to help you with that if you should run into any issues, and also to document those hours. So that's kind of how that works.
Exactly.
So anything I've missed in our talk?
I mean, I think we covered a lot of things, and I think we're both very excited of these new connections that we're building and and I'm very passionate about servicing the Latinos. That's one of the big things that is for me, and it means a lot to me to service my community and my people.
Well, that really comes across, and we're really happy to have you here with the Joslyn Center and the Wellness Center. I'm sure our viewers and people will be seeing a lot more of you out in the community doing your great work.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning, and for you and for all of our listeners and viewers, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week with Interview Fridays and the Joslyn Center.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.